live video over at rakeandprofit.com. Just left the gym, getting in a little bit of a protein drink, and I'm excited because I just got back from the Miami Seller Conference, spent 4 days in Hollywood Beach, then spent 3 days in Miami, met a ton of Amazon sellers, a lot of booksellers in particular, and quite a few brand new booksellers as well. So I'm really inspired to make this video to share 10 tips. Now, these are 10 updated tips for brand new Amazon sellers who want to sell books in 2024. Okay, so I'm going to wait for everybody to come on in right now because we are live. So let's make sure that I actually publish this live because I'm not sure if it's showing this to anybody right now. Oh, we just got one person that came in. Fantastic. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, we're going to be covering 10 tips for brand new booksellers in 2024. And let me know in the comments whether you're watching live or if you're watching the replay. If you're a brand new bookseller, let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know how things are going. Where are you sourcing books? Maybe you're going to Goodwill, thrift stores. Maybe you're sourcing garage sales. Who knows? Maybe you're selling stuff around your house, or maybe you're putting out posts on Facebook Marketplace or Nextdoor, or maybe you've done a consignment, or you've done a clean out. There are literally books everywhere, and there's still really good money right now. Believe it or not, it's funny. I remember when I started selling books back in 2013, 2014, people would tell me, oh, the book market's going to dry out. There's not enough for everybody. This opportunity is going to be gone in 6 months and 12 months. And it's so funny over the years. And I still hear it. Even in 2024, I came back from the conference. There were still a few people saying, oh, it's too saturated. There's not enough opportunity, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They said it in 2012. They said it in 2013. They said it in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I've been making videos for so long. Yet, there's thousands of people having success. I've done over $700,000 in sales in the last year. Made over 6 figures in profit after expenses and everything. So I'm coming from a place of experience, and I'm actually doing this every single day. What's going on, Amanda? Thank you so much for hanging out. And Amanda, she's somebody who started selling books about a year and a half ago. I remember when she jumped on a coaching call with me, she was at about $27 in total sales. And now she's having, I think she's at what, 13 or 14,000, somewhere around there in the last 30 days. She had a $22,000 month in Q4 in 1 month. So there's plenty of opportunities. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so 10 tips for new Amazon booksellers in 2024. Tip number 1, if you're going to be selling books, especially textbooks, you're going to want to make sure it's real. So I recommend 2 resources. Number 1, there's a website called stopcounterfeitbooks.com. I believe it's Stop Counterfeit Books or Stop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Just Google Stop Counterfeit Books. There's a website that will share with you how to analyze a book, how to tell if it's real or fake, looking at the spine, the pages, the color, the graphics, so on and so forth. That's a great resource. But another great resource, and this only applies to textbooks, Book Run Counterfeit Calculator. So go to Google, type in book-run counterfeit calculator, type it in, you'll find the website. And essentially, before you list or ship a book to Amazon, you always want to type it into that website, and they're going to let you know based on their algorithm, is it likely, highly likely, or unlikely to be a counterfeit. So Book Run Counterfeit Calculator mixed with Stop Counterfeit Books is a great resource to make sure that you don't get in trouble selling on Amazon. We're playing an Amazon sandbox. We have to follow their rules. All it takes is 1 or 2 counterfeits and you could literally be gone, okay? So I sell a lot of products. I saw a comment coming in. I sell everything from DVDs to tools, electronics, office supplies. I mean, I pretty much sell everything under the sun. So books is a great way to start, but over time, I recommend sourcing a whole bunch of other categories. Why? Because there's literally thousands of opportunities in all the categories, okay? So you've got to be aware of counterfeits, Book Run Counterfeit Calculator, and Stop Counterfeit Books. All right, number 2. Oh, and I just spilled protein all over me. There we go. I'm only at tip number 2 and I'm making a mess. Beware of low profit books. This is one of the biggest mistakes I notice a lot of brand new booksellers make, is they get excited. And I know what it's like. I remember, 10, 12 years ago when I was new to selling books, I mean, I felt like I was on cloud 9. I felt like I was like I don't know, like I found this like opportunity that could change my life. And it really was. I was just so excited. I would find a book that was $1, $2 profit. I'd take it. $3, $4, I would take it. Now there's nothing wrong with taking a $3, $4 profit book if it, you know, is selling really fast. But honestly, now with the increase of fees and shipping fees and return fees and, you know, there's just a lot of fees on Amazon. In my opinion, first off, I don't really think it's worth your time to sell books that only make $3 or $4 profit. But also, I think there's a lot of risk on the back end with returns and fees, so on and so forth, storage fees. So for now, personally, I don't really want to mess with a book if it doesn't make at least $7 to $8 profit. Now, depending on where you live, this may or may not be, you know, possible, right? I'm up north. I'm in Connecticut. You know, there's a lot of, you know, library sales and thrift stores, and there's just a lot of books in this area. Depending on where you live, you know, you might not be able to find a lot of books that make a minimum of $7 to $8 profit. In that instance, I would source via online arbitrage, which I could talk more about if you guys want to know about that. But that's how I source most of my items now, off of eBay, off of Amazon, online arbitrage. And let me know, can you guys hear me okay? Because it seems like people are coming in and leaving. So sometimes when I'm doing these live calls, the internet might not be so good. So let me know, Spoon Feeding Profit, or anybody watching, can you hear me clearly? I'm hoping that this whole video is not going to waste. Great question. What ranks do I focus on? Typically, I like to focus on anything under a million rank. I will go up to 2 to 3 million, but you really need to know what you're doing, and you've got to know the difference between the merchant prices, FBA, how many sales there have been, maybe over a month, 3 months, 6-month period. You could learn a lot about that with Keepa, but if you're brand new, I'd say stay under a million. Okay, perfect, Amanda, great. Yeah, sometimes I do these videos and it's really choppy and the internet's really bad. So just want to make sure that that's going through okay. But I would just say beware of the low profit books. A big mistake people make is they buy hundreds of books that only make $1 or $2 profit. And you have to keep in mind, it takes time to list the books, to source the books, to ship the books, to reprice the books. There's a lot of time that goes into it. You're out there scanning. There could be returns, customer service. So why would you want to deal with books that only make $1 or $2? At that point, you're just working for minimum wage. Okay, so I would rather buy less books that have higher profit, and maybe I'm not making as much money, but I'm doing, you know, 90% less work, and then slowly but surely over time find better ways to source, like online arbitrage. Okay, number 3, don't trust the FBA price, especially when you're selling books. There might be 10 people selling the book at $8 as a merchant, and then you see someone selling it at $42 FBA. There's a good chance that FBA price is overinflated. So you want to make sure that you study the Keepa charts. You want to make sure that you dive in and make sure that, is that an actual value that I could sell the book for, or is this overinflated? This is one of the big issues with, you know, even with Zen Arbitrage, with, what was it, eFlip. These were softwares that would help you source books online without leaving home, but they were essentially just exploiting the FBA buy box. And a lot of times you would buy books that really don't have historical data of selling at $42. Maybe it really only sells at $20. So the same thing goes when you're out at the thrift store. If you see the merchant's really low and FBA is really high, download the Keepa Chrome extension, scan the book, and take a look at the historical data to see where have the lowest offers been, where's FBA been, where's the buy box been, and you can get a better idea of what the actual value is. Number 4, rank isn't everything. Sales rank is a moving number, okay? Sales rank is essentially just a snapshot in time of the last time a product sold. Did you know a book might be a 3 million rank, but if it sells right now, in about 10 to 15 minutes, that rank is going to be down to about 100,000. Now, depending on the sales velocity and historical data, that rank can differ, and it can jump up faster or go up slower. But you might buy a book that it's 132,000 rank, and maybe you're only making $4 profit on it, but you're like, you know what, it's 132,000 rank, this thing's gonna sell. But if you're not looking at the monthly sales, if you're not looking at how many sales have there been over 3, 6, 9, 12 months using Keepa, then you're not getting the big picture. This is why it's so great with Scout IQ. They have something called an e-score that shares with you how many sales there have been over a 6-month period. That gives you a better big picture of the sell-through rate. So don't just rely on sales rank. Rank is moving up and down, right? I might take a picture of myself right now in the mirror and be 210 pounds, but that's just a picture of what I look like now. In 6 months, you might see me and be like, wow, this guy is freaking ripped. What the heck happened? That's because the rank, you can't rely on the rank. You can't rely on the picture. It doesn't tell you now. It doesn't give you the full picture. And that's the same thing that applies, okay? So rank isn't everything. Number 5, beware of inventory placement option. So when you're shipping your items out right now, there's going to be 3 different ways that you can ship your items out. There's inventory placement, which is the slowest and most expensive. Then there's like a middle option that has some splits and it's a little bit cheaper. And then the cheapest option and the fastest is the optimized Amazon split shipments. What I want to talk about now, and I did a whole video on split shipments and the fees, so you can check it out. I posted it on my channel with Avery about a week ago. The inventory placement option is free in a sense. Excuse me. The inventory placement option, scratch that. The inventory placement option allows you to put everything in one box. But what you have to understand is it's very expensive. And also, there's going to be a lot of FC transfers. So yeah, they're going to let you put everything in one box for a price. But what they're not telling you is it's going to take forever to get items checked in generally. So if you do a split shipment and you ship 100 books to 4 different places, it's going to be inexpensive and fast, okay? That's the optimized Amazon split shipment option, right? But if you use the inventory placement, everything's going to go in one box, but it's expensive. You're getting charged a fee. And when they ship it to that one location, they're going to split it off when it gets there to a whole bunch of locations. And have you ever wondered why items don't get checked in quickly? Because you're using that option. So I highly recommend checking out Go-To-Lister, okay? Go-To-Lister.com. It's the fastest listing software in the world. It's got smart pricing, and they've got some really revolutionary features they've built out that make dealing with split shipments really, really easy. So if you're not using a prep center, if you're doing prep all on your own, Go-To-Lister, game changer, but beware of inventory placement. It's slow and it's expensive. Tip number 6 for new sellers. If you want to make more money on Amazon, not only, what's up, Katie? I just saw a picture of you and liked it earlier. Great to see you. Speed is the name of the game. The more books you could source that are profitable and fast selling, and the faster you could get them out the door, the more money you're going to make. One of the best ways to optimize your workflow is to get a thermal printer. I highly recommend the Rollo printer, okay? It is about $200. It's an investment, but when you're scanning your items into Go-To-Lister or whatever listing service software you're using, it'll spit out a label. You could slap it on, and then you could ship it out really, really easily. So the Rollo printer is incredible. It integrates great with Go-To-Lister and all the other softwares. If you're using a 30-up label printer or 30-up labels now with just like an inkjet, that's fine, but it's slow, it's clunky. And I'm just telling you right now, you can really optimize your workflow by getting a Rollo printer. What's up, Roger? Listening while on the road. I'm a newer seller that needs to hustle faster. I love your content. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, Fluffy, Katie, Roger. So yeah, let me know, guys, what printer are you using down below? Whether you're watching live now or the replay, what are you using? A lot of folks, they use thermal printers. There's some off brands you can find on Amazon. There could be some integration issues with softwares like Go-To-Lister, I'm not sure, or Inventory Lab or AccelerList. That's why I always say Rollo printer. It's easy, it's fast to integrate, and it just spits out labels so quick. Speed is the name of the game. When you first start selling books on Amazon, it's going to be slow, it's going to be clunky, it's going to be annoying. Matter of fact, you're selling books that might not make a ton of money because you're learning, right? You're paying your tuition. Julian says, I only use Dymo thermal printers. Yeah, Dymo works great. The thing about Dymo I've noticed is they work great when they want to work, but when they stop working, it is hell on earth. I used to use them for years, but either way. Katie says, my grandpa had like a new Dymo address label printer he didn't like and just gave to me. It was a game changer. Sweet. Well, as long as you guys are using a roller or a Dymo, you're going to be a lot faster. Number 7, this is a big tip. And for anyone who's been selling books on Amazon for a while, you know how much this could kill your profits and kill your sell-through rate. When you're selling books, and this goes out to you, Roger, you're a new seller, be very wary of buying books that might be fast selling, or maybe they're slow selling. It doesn't even matter. But the big thing is, if there's like 20 or 30 merchants, that's $5 or $6, and it goes 5, 525, 550, 6, 650, and there's like, they all are super low. And then you see FBA at 35, 40. Be wary, be cautious. Can you sell a book at $42 FBA and then the merchants are at 6? Yes. But guess what? The risk is really high. And can anyone guess why is the risk a lot higher when the merchants are all at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bucks? Or maybe the merchants are at 13, 14, 15, and then FBA is at 72. Why is that a risk? Let me know. Why is that a risk? Why is that something that I would be concerned with? And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes outside of new sellers buying books that only make $3, $4 profit, and then they make a mistake and there's no margin left. Why is this such a huge risk? Having such a huge gap between FBA, and MF. Well, I'll tell you right now, there's a couple things. Number one, there's going to be FBA sellers that come in and they don't know how to price correctly, and they're going to price it at like 20 or 18. Like, they're going to cut the price, and then everyone's going to chase it down. Okay. Another thing is, a lot of times the market's just not willing to pay that much. There's a lot of people who price books really high FBA, but if you look back on Keepa, which is a great way to be able to track historical data and what people are willing to pay, people might only be willing to pay 25. So if the market's only willing to pay 25, like, just imagine that, I'll put it this way. Say you're outside, you're going for a walk, it's a hot summer day, you got your wallet on you, and every summer you like to go to lemonade stands and support the kids, so on and so forth. This might be a bad example, but you're only willing to pay $1 per cup because it's a little cup of lemonade, right? You're only willing to pay that. What's going to happen when, you know, there's a kid? Okay, I think I'm back. Maybe I'm back. I think I'm back. Let me know. I'm trying to finish up this this lemonade. Can you guys hear me? I literally just froze on the screen, so I don't know. Say lemonade if you're hearing my lemonade story. I literally just froze. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're only willing to pay $1 for a glass of lemonade, and then there's kids out there for $25, maybe if you're dehydrated, you'll pay it, but the average person's not going to pay that much, right? It's the same exact thing when you're on Amazon. If the market's only willing to pay 20 bucks for a book, and historically over 5 years, it only goes for 20, 23, 24. If someone prices it at 50, who the heck's going to pay that? Maybe somebody's desperate. Maybe someone is willing to pay it, but that's why, okay? And when the merchants are that low, you're just asking for price tanking. You're asking for new sellers to come in and just tear the price down. And you're also at risk for items sitting because maybe the market doesn't really support that, okay? So beware of big merchant FBA gaps. What you really want to see is a book where the merchants are at 36, 37, 38, and then FBA's at 43, 44, 45, like a 10, 20, 30% jump. Any more than that, in my opinion, it's a bit risky. And if you're going to be doing online arbitrage, eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon, you're going to get slaughtered long-term with these big gaps between MF and FBA, okay? Number 8, stop listening to Scout IQ and Scoutly. Stop listening to them. Scout IQ and Scoutly is great for scanning quickly at library sales and filtering through the junk and finding books that light up green and getting rid of the books that are junky that light up red. But stop relying on it, okay? Because it depends on your trigger settings, okay? You might have certain settings that maybe you're just using out-of-the-box settings with Scout IQ. Nowadays, I think that's a bad idea. I don't know if they've updated it yet. I know they've changed ownership, and when Caleb was running it, I trusted a lot more. Now that there's new ownership, so on and so forth, I don't know what the developers are up to. I don't know who's running the show over there. The same with Scoutly. You've got to go in and check out your trigger settings, because if you're accepting books that are going to make $2 profit, even if it's less than a 2,000 rank and it's a fiction, whatever, you don't want to be dealing with those books, right? And it's not taken into consideration, like how many sellers are on it. Is there an influx of sellers? Is there a huge MF to FBA gap? I mean, it takes into consideration a little bit of that, but stop listening to it. Like, you want to filter all the books out and then double check things on the Amazon seller app, scan it on Keepa, double check books. Stop relying on these apps. Stop relying on softwares. The same thing with Flipmine. For anyone who's sourcing from eBay to Amazon, Flipmine is fantastic. Matter of fact, I've got a software that's coming out soon as well. I'm going to give you the same damn advice. Don't use a software, but take everything with a grain of salt, because you can't trust softwares fully. You can't trust scanning apps fully. They're a great resource to save time, but you've got to double check everything. Number 9, reprice your freaking inventory, okay? Reprice your inventory. I have coaching calls all the time where people are like, I don't know why my stuff's not selling. And many times they're fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh in line with books that are $1 million, $1.5 million. Like, you've got to remain competitive. That's why I highly recommend using a repricer such as Be Cool. That's the one that I use, but there's a lot of other great ones out there as well. Or if you're on a budget and you're not really making money yet, go in and manually reprice your inventory. Especially if you're new and you're not buy box eligible, you're gonna have to be the lowest price. So reprice often. Typically, the buy box goes to the lowest price. It will rotate, obviously, but if you're not winning buy box eligibility, you're really going to have to be the lowest price. And that goes into tip number 10, okay? Not only reprice your inventory, but just keep in mind when you're a new bookseller, this sucks. I'm going to just give it to you straight up. There's reserves, so they're going to hold on to a lot of your profits in the beginning and slowly feed you the rope as they begin to trust you. And they're not going to give you buy box eligibility when you're a new seller. So this is why I've been telling everybody for years, get in now. Amazon's only making it harder. The fees are only going up. The good news is, even though fees are going up, the ceiling prices on everything's going to go up because people aren't going to be selling stuff if they don't make their margins. So the market will adapt. It always does. For anyone who says it won't, they typically haven't been selling on Amazon for a long time. There's very few YouTubers you're going to be able to watch, such as myself. And I'm not saying I'm the smartest. Like, I have a lot to learn. I'm sure I got plenty of blind spots, but I've been doing this for 10 plus years. A lot of people are going to say it's saturated. A lot of people are going to say a bunch of things that they're talking from no experience. I'll tell you right now, get in now, okay? Get in now, because down the road, they might gate people. They might not even let people get in without a business license. Who knows? But get in now. But when you're first getting started, have the mindset, the first 3 to 6 months, you're probably not gonna make much money if you're doing thrifting and stuff, because you're gonna have to fight through reserves, build your feedback, build your volume of sales, earn Amazon's trust to get buy box eligibility. And the best way to do that is to price your items competitively. Make sure you don't get any negative feedbacks. If you do, remove it. If you don't know how to remove it, just go to YouTube, Rake and Profit, remove negative feedback. I have a video that will walk you through the whole entire process. But there's plenty of opportunity out there, especially with over time. Once you don't want to go thrifting and garage sales and library sales anymore, you can find so many books just sourcing from eBay and sourcing from Amazon via online arbitrage and Facebook Marketplace via online arbitrage. So anyone who tells you there's not books out there and there's no deals to be made, they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm proof. My mom's proof, and I've got hundreds of students who are doing this right now. So to recap, the 10 tips for new Amazon booksellers in 2024. Number 1, watch out for counterfeit books. Go to stopcounterfeitbooks.com and learn how to identify a counterfeit book, and always run textbook ASINs through Book Run Counterfeit Calculator. Google it, you'll find it. Number 2, beware of low profit books. Make sure you're making at least $7, $8 profit. I would say, in my opinion, you go less than that, you're going to get burned, and a lot of times it might not be worth your time. Number 3, don't trust FBA price. Many times they're overinflated. Learn how to use Keepa. You've got to learn how to use Keepa. If you don't know how to use Keepa, if a lot of this stuff seems foreign to you, check out our membership site at resellingfreedom.com. Myself and 10 other Amazon coaches are over there coaching almost every single day. We have an entire course. We have 500 plus coaching calls over the last year and a half. Every week we have a new coaching calendar, a community. We have ebooks. We tell you items to flip. Check it out, resellingfreedom.com. And it's a very low price. It's like $1, $1.50 per day, depending on if you get a good promotion or not. But check it out right now. We have a little deal going on, resellingfreedom.com. But don't trust the FBA price. Rank isn't everything. Learn about how to use Keepa, how to look at historical data. Read the various data points on Scout IQ, Scoutly, such as the E-score, which is going to tell you and give you a better picture of the sell-through rate over a 6-month period. Beware of inventory placement. It's expensive and it's very slow. I know it's a pain in the butt to have to split up all your shipments, but if you use GoToLister, it makes it 1,000,000 times easier. Big shout out to Dom, the developer over there, and Avery, Roma the Roamer. They have been crushing it with that software, and it's literally made for booksellers. It's way better than all the other softwares out there for booksellers. So definitely check that out and start splitting up your shipments. It'll get checked in faster and you'll be able to turn your cash flow better, okay? Number 6, use a Rollo printer or use a Dymo printer, a thermal printer. If you use the 30 up labels, it's slow, it's clunky, it's inefficient, and speed is the name of the game. Tip 7, Beware of big merchant fulfilled to FBA gaps. You want them to be a bit closer. You want the price of the merchants to be at 30 and, you know, FBA to be at 40 or 35. You want to beware of huge gaps. Merchants are at 6 and then FBA is at 72. A lot of times there'll be dumb FBA sellers who are new, no offense. They come in, they price it because they think there's nobody there and they can exploit the buy box and get rich. It's just going to sit. It's going to maybe get hit with high pricing error. Maybe it'll just sit there and collect dust and collect fees. Maybe it could sell, but again, you've got to use Keepa to make your decisions, right? It's like the MLS with real estate. You price items based on comparable sales. That's what Keepa does, okay? Number 8, stop listening to Scout IQ and Scoutly. Learn how to use Keepa. Learn how to read the data. Learn how to see how many times it's sold over 30, 60, 90 days. Learn how you can see the rank changing, okay? Number 9, reprice your inventory on a regular basis. And number 10, understand when you're new, it's going to be tough. You're not going to win the buy box out of the gate. They're going to hold your money through Amazon reserves. You can Google it and learn about it. It's really a good 3 to 6 month period to get out of that probation period. And you got to think long term. You don't want to start selling books on Amazon when, you know, the boat's sinking and you're going down. You want to think to yourself, all right, things are going good right now, or maybe you're struggling a little bit, but you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to put my time in, I'm going to invest, I'm going to learn for the next 3 to 6 months, and then I'm going to freaking hit the ground running, and then you can start getting into E to A, leverage your time, virtual assistants. I mean, that's how I've done over $700,000 in sales in the last 12 months, flipping all different types of media items and electronics, so on and so forth. But when you're new, these 10 tips should help you out a lot. So I appreciate you all. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. Steve Woodward, what up? Steve says 2 months in, 2K in sales, 700 in profit off 92 books sold, 210 still listed, more shipping in this week. Fantastic, Steve. Sounds like you have a pretty decent sell-through rate. What's up, Katie? Amazon won't pay me for the things until after they've been delivered for 7 days. I got back into it a month ago and have so much in reserves, but still no payout. Yeah, they don't trust you anymore, Katie. I trust you, though. I'd pay you out instantly. But yeah, Amazon's got a mind of its own. All right. Jill says, I was just going to say, I think you should create a software from a seller's view. You're going to know the true needs over people. Yeah, I mean, I am building one for eBay to Amazon. But for GoToLister, for a listing software, GoToLister. Use GoToLister, okay, over AccelerList, over all the other ones, because it's built by not only Avery, but a developer who is an Amazon seller. They're literally building it for all of our needs, which makes it 1,000 times easier. GoToLister.com. Go check it out. You don't have to go through any special links. I'm literally just trying to share something that I know can help you. Steve says, I learned everything from you. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Hey, man, don't give me that much credit. You put in the work. And but I appreciate that. That really means a lot. Sometimes on social media, I feel like I don't even know if I want to make videos anymore, because it's sad, like how many just nasty negative comments come in nowadays. Like sometimes I read comments and it's like, it's brutal what some of these people say. Like, you're a scammer, you don't even sell this and that, you're not making money. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you don't even fucking know me. You have no idea. Anyone who's close to me knows I'm in the game. I've been doing this for years and years. But people are really nasty on social media. And sometimes it's like, you know what? I can make plenty of money without social media. I don't need to do social media. But comments like Steve, it really means a lot to me. Because sometimes I'm like, am I wasting my time here? Amanda says, thank you for the inspiration to get back out. Thank you, Amanda. You're an inspiration. Watching you grow. And Amanda, she just hit, what was it, $100,000 over a 12-month period. So, I mean, it's amazing. Big shout out to Amanda. Appreciate our friendship. Cole says, what barcode hand scanner do you recommend? I use the Natamu. Do I have it on me? No, I think I brought it inside yesterday. Yeah, I like the Natamu. If you go to rakeandprofit.com / I think scanner, it'll go there, I'm pretty sure, or rakeandprofit.com / Natamu. One of those, it'll go to the one that I use. But anyway, just type in Natamu and Amazon, barcode scanner Amazon. They're all really good. It's like 50 bucks, but just go with anything. Just make sure it has good reviews. 118,000. Holy crap, Amanda. You are taking off like a racehorse, young lady. Katie says, being a female content creator is not fun in a category that is mostly men. Yeah, I can't imagine, honestly. But you know how it is. Like, there's just a lot of resellers who are very introverted. They're sitting in their basement. They're probably living at their parents' house. They're angry. I don't know. Like, when I go to meetups and stuff, like Connecticut Thrifting Meetup and whatnot, everyone's cool. If I go to conferences, they're cool. But I just feel like there's like a huge majority of resellers who are like, they're just like massive losers. And it's like, I see it too on some women's posts. They just they're degrading. They have nasty comments. And it's like, you would never say that to her in real life. You would never say that to me in real life, because I'd smack the living you know what out of you. But that's the way it is, and that's the way it goes. So and if I find out anyone's talking to you like that, Katie, I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna hunt them down. Okay. But they should be worried more about your man, because he'll take them out. But I miss you guys. What's up? I love my Natamoo, and I also have eYoYo scanner. I heard that one's pretty good too. I'm using Channel Max Repricer, big learning curve. Should I switch to Be Cool? I mean, I know Avery was a big fan of Channel Max, but I think he's starting to promote Be Cool as well. The thing with Be Cool that I like, I actually just hung out with Be Cool at the Miami Seller Conference. The team was there, hung out with them. Really cool. Big shout out to Sam of Be Cool. They're in the community. They have a lot of developers. They're like really like immersed into the community to learn like the problems and issues. So for me, sometimes I'll pay a little bit more. Sometimes I'll pay a little less for softwares, but I'm trying to always invest in like the mom and pop, the people I know, like people who are really trying to improve software. So that's why I use Be Cool. I'm sure there's others that are maybe better, but it works great for me. Katie's getting a kick out of that. So I just want to say I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out and watching. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed these tips. Yeah, I took my time to write them all out with my messy handwriting. But hopefully you found value in it. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a comment afterwards, smash that like button. And yeah, would love to be able to help you guys and continue serving you all. So continue subscribing, watching the videos, and feel free to check out resellingfreedom.com. We're doing almost daily coaching calls with myself and 10 other coaches. So always open to help and serve and get you guys and gals to the next level. But with that being said, thanks everybody. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.